What's up there, aviation fans? Thought I'd make a quick video. I hope this is quick anyways. Apologize if it's not. Thought I'd make a quick video here on how airline pilots and flight attendants, for that matter, also determine their schedules month to month. We use a bidding system that is based 100% off of seniority. And I can't stress that enough. Seniority is life. The more you have, the better life is. But we all have to start at the bottom, and I certainly have paid my dues. So what we do is, to give you a kind of the high-level overview of how it works, the first of each month, the company submits or disseminates a bid package. And what the bid package is all the flying for the following month. So let's use July, since that's what I'm looking at here. July 1st, they disseminate all the flying information, schedule and all that for August 1st. And then we, as pilots, are bidding or creating a wish list for the following month, if that makes sense. Now, this bid package is shown here on the screen in the upper right. Total pairings day-wise. This is how the bid packages broke down. So there's 11 one-day trips, there's 14 two-day trips, 34 three-day trips, and 33 four-day trips. So that kind of gives me an overview of what the bid package looks like. I then submit my wish list, send it to the company, and then July 8th, the bidding is closed, and the computer runs the numbers. And the computer tries to give you as much of your wish list as it can, again, based on seniority. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't win as much. We'll put it that way. So logging on to this first screen here, that's the first thing I look at is the total pairings day-wise. It looks like I'm going to get mostly 3 and 4 day trips. Now, where you're asking what my seniority is, so I look down here, and this will change from month to month. I am bidding 10 of 21 this month. That doesn't mean there's only 21 first officers in my base. That means there's only 21 bidding for this month. Others might be out on long-term leave or whatever. So yeah, so 10 of 21, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So, and again, if I want to verify, this is the bid period starting August 1st, ending August 31st. So every month I have 8 days to look at the bid package, to look at each trip and see if I want to change anything, my schedule for that following month. Down the left side here, these are the buttons that we are working with. We're on the info, this is the main screen. I can't click on them because we're not live. You can see I blocked out information here I don't want the world to see. So calendar, this button, I don't really use it. It just shows your calendar, big deal. Pairings, so some terminology, some lingo. A pairing is a trip, all right? That's it. That's just the words, the lingo that the airlines use. So a 2-day pairing is nothing more than a 2-day trip. You leave your house, you spend somewhere overnight, you come back the next day. And each pairing or each trip has a number associated to it. So pairing 4001 could be a 2-day trip with an overnight in Seattle or whatever. All right. So when I say pairing, I mean trip. Bids, bid equals wish list. That's pretty much all you need to know. You fill out your wish list, and there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of criteria that you can use to filter all these pairings out or down. Every person is different. And here's the great thing about the airline world. What I want is not necessarily what somebody else wants. I don't like 4-day trips, okay? I live in base. I drive to the airport. It's 10 minutes away. I get on a plane, fly it, and I come home 1, 2, 3, 4 days later, okay? Other people might not live in their base. So, example, there's a guy that I work with who lives in Alaska in a small village. He commutes from small village to Anchorage, Anchorage to Seattle, Seattle to Boise, where we're based. Okay, he's got a significant commute just to get to work. So he likes 4-day trips, and he will stack up 4-day trips back to back as much as he can so that he doesn't have to go home or, be in a hotel on his own dime with these little 2 and 1 day or even 3-day trips, maybe. So he builds his schedule to maximize his time away from home and earn as much credits as possible. Now, that brings up another good point. Credits. What the heck is a credit? Credit is nothing more than an hour, all right? The company wants us or requires us to build 75 credit hours in trips. So each pairing is going to have a credit assigned to it. It could be a 4-day trip worth 25 credits. And so there you see you've fulfilled a third of your minimum guarantee is what we call that. The company is guaranteeing we'll get at least 75 credits. And I'll make another video on pay, I think, later because that's a whole nother animal and it's really convoluted. But suffice it to say that take my friend, if he does 3 4-day trips at 25 credits each, that's 75 credits. He's met his min guarantee, and he could potentially have 18 days off for that month. Now, there's rest requirements in there and whatnot, and that's another issue. So we have computers doing this and not doing it by hand. So you can see that each person's lifestyle, life circumstances, let's say, are different. And again, what works good for me does not work good for somebody else. I like 2 and 3-day trips. 2 and 3-day trips could financially ruin somebody else. Okay, so don't get too down if you don't have seniority because the people above you could be an entirely different ballgame. Back to the bids. The bids, you submit your wish list. Fill out your criteria that you want, you don't want. The computer runs the numbers, and then somewhere in the middle of July, boom, it spits it out, and it gives some time to deconflict with training and all that stuff, and then you have your schedule starting August 1st, and then we do the same thing all over again for the following month. Sounds tedious, huh? All right, so jumping down to bids. This is what a bid looks like. This is my bid. And it doesn't change too much because, you know what, my life circumstances don't change very much from month to month. Let's look up here, current and default. So this is my default bid. It stays here all the time. It never goes away and just kind of lives here in the background. Your current bid is current for that month. 99% of the time, I copy this, I paste it into current, I submit it, and bam, it's done. Default is here in case you forget to do your bid for the month. The computer will first look at current. If it says, hey, there's nothing here, let's look at default. Oh, okay, here's default. So it will build your schedule off of your default bid. This is me telling the computer or the company, this is generally what I want. It's a good 98% solution. And I'll tweak it. If I want certain days off, I'll just insert a line here and there and then move it over to current. So you can see here that this is a pairing bid group. We also have a reserve bid group. If you fall into that category, we won't talk about that. But the computer is first going to look at my pairing bid group, line number 2, waive 1 day off in 7. So I'm telling the computer, I'll work up to 7 days. All right. Now, there's federal aviation regulations that kick in requiring rest. But for the most part, I'm telling the computer, you can work me up to 7 days. What that does is it takes my trips and consolidates them, and it gives me bigger chunks of time off, 4, 5, 6 days off down the road, or upstream maybe. So I'm telling it, I don't mind working up to 7 days. All's good. The reality is I would be home at least twice in those 7 days. So if it's 2 3-day trips and a 1-day trip, then I'm home 3 times in those 7 days. It's a benefit of living in base. It's not a big deal. I've also waived a minimum 2 days off in a row. So I'm telling the computer, the company, just give me 1 day off. I'm fine. Again, it allows consolidation of the trips and allows more time off en masse somewhere else in the month. So then I'm saying these are the days off I prefer. I would like to have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. If you can't do that, then give me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. Coincides with my wife's schedule. I don't want to do 4-day trips. I don't want to go to Vancouver. I don't want to lay over or even land in Vancouver. This whole during the COVID thing, Canada's just being kind of stupid and putting all these restrictions on everything, and I don't want to deal with it. So I've got enough seniority. I can say no Canada for me. And then I tell it what I want. Give me 3-day trips, 2-day trips, 1-day trips. Now you can go in here and make this incredibly detailed. You can tell it, I would like to fly 3-day trips, but not only, I guess you could say only, but I want to lay over in Portland, or I want 2-day trips that start at before 6 a.m. Somebody else might say, give me 4-day trips that start after 2 p.m. and arrive back home at after 12 p.m. So you can make this incredibly detailed as you want, with the keeping in mind that the more restrictive you are, the harder the computer is going to have, the harder time the computer will have building you a good schedule. With enough seniority, and I've seen guys do this, you can go straight into pairings, look at each trip, look at how long the flights are, how long the time in between flights, how long you're away from home, where you're laying over, all that stuff. You can look at each individual pairing and choose them by number. Now, you've got to have some good seniority to do that, but people do it. So with this, I would copy this. I would paste it under current. I would hit submit, and that's it. That is how our schedules are determined. At the airlines, I think most are pretty similar. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'm happy to answer them and help you out where I can. Thanks for watching.